What elementary school did you go to?
I went to village school.
And when you were in village school, did they teach you anything about gay rights or the gay rights movement while you were there?
No.
Not gay rights specifically.
Oh God, what happened? We haven't really learned much about gay rights. People aren't don't talk about it that much. They avoid the subject.
No one talked about gay rights at my old elementary school.
At all?
At all.
In high school and middle school, no. Not that I can recall.
No, I haven't.
No? Have you?
No, because that was like in the 80s.
Right.
And they never talked about it.
No.
Nothing?
Nothing.
No.
Come up to meet you, tell you I'm sorry, don't know how lovely you are.
No, I never learned anything about gay rights in school. I graduated from high school in 1979, and we never learned, we knew about gay rights movement because of what was happening in the culture, but we didn't know anything. We never were taught anything in school.
There was very little education about gay rights, and in fact, the school's curriculum was quite limited. I never really resented that because I never really had any awareness of any type of, I never really had any awareness of any type of gay, bisexual, lesbian culture or personality. It wasn't in my life.
It wasn't really taught about gays at all from a young age. I mean, I know in high school, like, I thought it was wrong and I was against gay marriage and all that stuff, but I don't remember ever specifically hearing about gays.
It's a problem. It's a problem that gay rights are not being taught in civil rights units in schools in the United States because it's a really valuable part of our history, and it's something that people don't realize. I didn't realize, and I still don't think that I know as much as I wish that I could. Students don't have the time to do research on their own, and oftentimes they're not lucky enough to have the resources to be able to do that. And so it's vital for students to have the ability to understand more about the people that they could be possibly objectifying, or understand more about the people that they are. Both of these things are really important.
I think it's important because it's a civil right. It's a civil rights movement in the first place. It's a movement in the effort to gain civil rights for a class of the population. And I think it ought to be taught as part of a civil rights curriculum because that's clearly what the gay rights movement is. I also think it's really useful just in terms of a kind of broad and accepting society for as many different kinds of cultures and points of view and things like that to be taught in schools so students understand that we live in a diverse society where there is no definition of normal. Everything kind of fits in. There's no mainstream with tributaries. Everything kind of weaves together to tell the story of the culture that we live in.
The thing about the Fair Education Act, I mean, a lot of kids going to school, especially if you notice that something's different about you and you kind of start recognizing from a young age that you might be gay. It's a very lonely feeling and you kind of feel like you're the only one. And being able to learn about people in history who were gay and people who were successful and contributed to society, I mean, that takes away that lonely feeling and lets them see that there are people who are successful in society and who have made a positive impact on society who are also gay.
From the time that I left 4th grade, maybe, I've always been in schools where it's a really cohesive community, and I think, especially Wildwood, a lot of that is encouraged by the fact that we get so much time for education about the issues and of other people, and that's so important. I honestly do believe that the more we know about the troubles that other people face, especially in gay rights, where it's not a concept that another person can have and can understand completely easily, it's vital to have that kind of education in schools when students need it at our age.
What it does is it creates an environment where there's a more open and accepting conversation of different categories of citizen, frankly, of different types of people, and that only adds up to a more accepting and more understanding society, and that, I think, would lead to less bullying and less kind of segregation or less differentiation, because it's when we learn about everyone else and we are able to accept that there are many different ways of living, many different lifestyles or orientations, that we start to understand each other, and we start to understand the differences between us as well as the similarities, and we start to really